Apple is set to hold an event on Monday, and the tech giant is expected to talk all about its move into streaming media. Here to discuss whether Apple can crack the market is Jessica Toonkel from The Information and Roger McNamee from Elevation Partners. Good to see you both. Jessica, bring us up to speed on exactly what we know, what we can expect for Monday.
So Monday, Apple is finally going to be unveiling its video streaming service. They're going to talk about original shows. They're going to talk about their TV subscription service. So they have partners lined up like Starz or Showtime. And there'll be a news subscription offering that we expect them to talk about as well.
So will the driver of this, Jessica, be original content, or will it be an efficient new way to bundle other people's services?
So I think the sexy part is the original shows, right? The Reese Witherspoons, the Jennifer Anistons. But I think the real business is the bundling of the subscription services. And that's really what's going to differentiate the offering from what else is out there.
Roger, does this come, do you think, with new hardware as well, or not so much?
You know, I don't know. Wilf, the key thing is that Apple's Apple TV product offering is actually already really good for people who want to buy or rent a movie or to capture subscriptions that they own other ways, through apps. And so this is a natural extension of the current hardware strategy they have. I'm not confident that their original programming is going to set the world on fire. If it does, I think that's going to be an upside surprise. To me, what's really logical about this is that Apple has an organic business in media content that and a home to put it on with their hardware platforms that they do want to move forward, and we'll see what this does. I'm not expecting this to set the world on fire, but I do think over time you're going to see, just as with Apple Music, that they're going to slowly but surely find a beachhead that works and make the streaming at least adequate for their services. And given the price of the stock, that should be enough.
Yeah, Jessica, is Apple Music one way to think about this? Will it be just a pre-installed app on phones and iPads, and that'll be just the way you access third-party content as well as Apple stuff? Do we know that?
I do think that that's the way to think about it. It'll be some sort of video streaming service app. We are unclear how the original shows are going to be kind of worked in with the subscription services. And I agree with Roger. It's really unclear, what the original shows will bring to it. I mean, it's all going to be about the interface and how they package it.
Which competitor is going to be watching this closest? Is this like a Netflix competitor or more of the set-top boxes?
I think it's more of a competitor to Amazon, and think about Amazon Prime Video. So they have original shows and they have their own channels business. So that's where I see the competition. I don't see this as being a huge competitor to Netflix.
Do you agree with Roger's skepticism around Apple's foray into the original content, whether it can actually come up with must-see TV? I'm equally skeptical on that. I also don't know what exactly is going to be available anytime soon. I mean, some of these shows have just started wrapping up. I mean, I think the earliest you'll see shows is probably in the fall, and I don't know how many you'll see at that.
Roger, what else might we hear about next week? There's rumors that David Solomon of Goldman Sachs will be there to talk more about their new payment partnership, also possibly some developments on Apple News.
Yeah, so Wilf, Apple Pay is, I think, a completely brilliant product that's underappreciated in the marketplace. It has really wonderful privacy characteristics which make it like cash relative to you and the vendor that you're dealing with. And so I don't know exactly how this credit card is going to work in this mix. What I do know is that Apple really has done, in my mind, a very good job on that. When I look at news, I think, again, one of the challenges around all of this is that historically Apple's offered video, it's offered news as parts of a large bundle. And they haven't really gotten a ton of revenue out of the news side. And now they're going to attempt to build a bigger subscription component into it. And again, I think that's going to get off to a slow start. But again, I don't think it's going to matter. I think the issue relative to video, to news, and all these other things is it's only available if you're an Apple hardware customer to begin with. And the experience, if you're in the Apple hardware universe, is fantastic. And, I don't see why it's not going to be successful in that universe. And if they do come up with a hit, it's going to be a really, really big deal in that universe. Whether it's going to be enough to cause people to move over to Apple, I find that hard to believe in the short run. The thing I'm really looking for, Wilf, and what I'm really hoping will come fairly soon, is I want to see Apple move their hardware business to subscriptions so that essentially you'll sign up for contracts where every year you'll get a new device and you'll pay something monthly for a bundle of services, and there'll be a bunch of tiers. And by the way, I have no reason to believe they're actually doing this. I just think from Apple's perspective, that would be a great way of gaining market share. They have a compelling advantage right now on privacy. They have a compelling advantage on security. They do have a very good suite of content services available. I don't think they're particularly dramatically better than other people, and they're weaker in some ways relative to Netflix. But that overall package, if it were offered for $30, $40, $50 a month, I think would gain a ton of share against Android, which would have a hard time responding.
Okay, we will leave it there, guys. Jessica, Roger, thank you both very much.